Hello again, it's Garson, and masochists rejoice because we found an effect for you. You're gonna love this. It's Force Conduit. Let's get some fun action going on here. Come on, bring it on. Come on over here. Did you enjoy your day off? Here we go. Some Polar Master. Before you hit me, let me go ahead and attack you. Okay. Oh, you missed. Reverb. Alright. So, let's go ahead. I guess I'll just stand here. Oh no. I'm defenseless, or am I? Uh-oh. Nope. Go ahead. Hit me. Hellish Rebuke. Wha-bam! Hit me again. And then it's just getting easier and easier to take these hits. Resistance plus slashing on Force Conduit. Oh yeah. And the new Booming Blade. How can we... Oh yeah. Give me an excuse to use this thing. This thing is so good. Oh, damn. Wha-bam! Come on. Keep hitting me. You're only going to kill yourself. Oh, oh. Alright, and then what I can do is shatter your bones with a level 5 shatter. Come on, keep hitting me. Why are you throwing things? Something about the day off gave you, I don't know, brain damage or something. Boom! So, check it out. We have 7 stacks of Force Conduit, which is what we're going to talk about today. In fact, I didn't even have to attack. Technically, if we watched a little bit longer, we could have had them kill themselves. But if you're a masochist, you might really enjoy this. This is Force Conduit, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel or you got a cool request like Cat's Tail, let's save it to the end of the video. I'll tell you how. But first off, Cat's Tail, thank you for the patience, because I did want to talk about this, and I noticed your request a little bit back ago. I said, I think it would be cool to go for a full retaliation build using Force Conduit, like a pure blade lock, and maybe you have to be a Gith, or maybe you go Tempest Cleric and get the armor and you can do the Thunder Retort. Dude, honestly, your suggestion was fantastic. It's honestly a lot of fun to play this build. I'm going to reload this real quick. I'm going to show you the power of Force Conduit with a really fun idea. We'll get to build time in a moment, but let's look at the pain train with Force Conduit, what it actually is and how we acquire it, right? So Force Conduit is a condition that you apply to yourself. When you have this, it can go up to 7 turns, maximum stacks or turns, however you want to like call it, right? But it reduces weapon damage. This is piercing, bludgeoning, or force, what is it? Piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning damage, right? So if we look at the Skin Burster here, it'll reduce these weapon damage types you commonly run into by 1 per stack. And in fact, if you take damage, not get hit, but actually take the damage, when you have 5 or more stacks, it'll blow up. You'll explode for force damage, okay? So it can go up to 7 turns of stacking, mitigating damage, right? Because every stack is a mitigator. So you can go up to -7 damage whenever you're taking these weapon damage types, okay? And if you get to 5 damage and you actually do take damage after all the mitigation, you explode for force damage, right? So Cat's Tail was saying, why not go for like a retaliation build? Like everyone attacking you, that's the point, right? So within 20 feet or 6 meters, it'll actually blow up for force damage, but I think the killer app here is getting really tanky with these stacks, and you'll see why, right? But there's a few different ways to acquire them. I'll show you on screen. There's this shield, there's this halberd, and there's this heavy armor set. So you'll need proficiency for this one, okay? So the Skin Burster, let's talk about that for a moment. Skin Burster is a halberd, and you can see that I went for pole arm mastery because pole arms, like halberds, actually get longer range, and pole arm mastery will give you an opportunity attack. Instead of targets running away from you, if they run into you, you can actually get a pole arm reaction like we saw earlier, and I can choose to hit them first, which is funny because if I hit them, I'll get 2 turns of Force Conduit right off the bat. So every time you hit them, you get 2 turns of Force Conduit with the halberd, okay? And it even tells us right here, it's 2 turns. So if I go with a blade lock and the polearm mastery, not only can I get some stacks and some damage in with the reaction, but polearm mastery also does something pretty cool. If you hit with your weapon attack, you'll actually get a bonus attack action for free, right? And it's a little bit weaker, but it'll still apply all the effects like the thunder damage and the reverb and stuff I'm building for. So I can actually, with the blade lock and Pact of the Blade, I can hit 2 times with my main action and 1 time with my bonus action. I can get up to 6 stacks with the Skin Burster using this build, right? And that's great because for every stack, right, I'm going to mitigate damage So that's 6, reduce 6 damage from weapon attacks, okay? So right off the bat, I'm really tanky while being aggressive. Now, the Rippling Mail is the reverse. So when I take damage, and I have to take damage from weapon types, slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning, which is pretty common anyway. And this is a heavy armor, so if you can equip this, you'll get up to a nice baseline of 17 armor class, which is pretty good. And I'll tell you what. But for the reference, it doesn't tell us here, but it's 2 stacks from my testing. Every time you take damage from these sources, you'll get 2 more stacks of Force Conduit. So whether you're being aggressive with the Skin Burster, or if you're just sitting there tanking the damage, you can get up to 7 stacks extremely easily. In fact, depending on the situation, you'll get stacks a lot faster from the mail, okay? So it is 2 stacks for every time you take damage, not just getting hit. All right, now there's also late in the game in Act 3, you can get the shield, and this actually combos okay if you're going for more defensive style with the armor, but I'm not really sure how many stacks you get with this, because honestly this comes in so late that I would want to build this character where I can get the Skin Burster in the Crush, and I can get the armor in Act 2 and Last Light in, and they combo really well together. So just know that there's also a shield. At the start of your turn you get Force Conduit, and I think it's also 2 turns of it, but this is way more aggressive and defensive. Maybe mix this with the armor, and that's a good idea, but I love this on a blade lock. Here's why. So if we go into build time, basically Will right here, he's not a Gith, so he doesn't get any armor benefits. He could wield the shield, and that's great, but if we just go Tempest Cleric right off the bat, like Cat's Tail said, right, we get a few benefits. For one, we get these fun reactions on lightning and thunder, right? So when anyone actually attacks us, we can retaliate with some lightning or thunder damage, which is hilarious, because thanks to our gloves, we get some reverb out of that, a little bit of damage, and it just looks cool, right? So we're always retaliating when people attack us, right? We take 11 levels in Fiend Lock. Okay. Oh, and I should say you get heavy armor proficiency if this is your first level up, okay? So we'll be able to use this retaliating armor, this Force Conduit armor, and we'll have some fun with the retaliating effects of this. Then we'll go into a pure blade lock from there on out. And level 11 levels of Warlock. Thanks for the excuse to play Warlock, Cat's Tail, because I love Warlock, not just for Eldritch Blast, but now we get Booming Blade as a cantrip in patch 8. We actually get level 5 Warlock spell slots at level 11, so there's 3 of them on short rest. This is crazy because your spells are automatically upcasted to level 5, so I Shatter can hit really hard, right? And we get some other cool benefits for going Fiend. Fiend will get Fiendish Resilience. We can choose any damage type to resist. I think this is really underrated. So I took Slashing Resistance. I'm now permanently Slashing Resistance. This doesn't cost an action, and you can change this every short rest. So that's Fiendlock. Fiendlock also does some cool stuff, like gives us temporary HP, I think, on kill, right? There's a lot of nuances and subtleties here, but I love Warlock. And if you go Pact of the Blade, you can actually just be straight up a regular martial attack. You could be what's called a Gish, or like a hybrid. You can cast spells, you can have a cool cantrip, and you can be a spell blade with Booming Blade, but you get 2 attacks with Pact of the Blade at level 5, just like Fighter, just like Paladin, right? And we get some cool retaliation spells like Hellish Rebuke, which gets stronger as we level up our Warlock slots. There's so much more I could talk about Fiendlock and Warlock, so I digress. The point is, this is awesome, okay? I kind of want to play this myself now in a real run, because I want to see how this evolves. But if we started this character off, we would go 1 Cleric, we would take 16 Constitution, and another great thing about Warlock is everything, when you have Pact of the Blade, everything revolves around Charisma. So we don't have to worry about Strength or Dexterity or whatnot. Our spells are Eldritch Blast, and our weapon all operate on 1 stat. So we can focus on having some HP with Constitution, because we would kind of want to take damage, right? And we can focus on everything else with Charisma. And if we take the Hag Hair, we can actually even out to 18, which is pretty much good enough for most stats in general if we get to 18 or higher, right? Polar Mastery does the 2 things for us. We get the reaction attack, and we also get a little bonus attack, giving us 3 attacks in 1 turn, which would get us up to 6 Force Conduit. Pretty awesome. 2 Constitution, because you kind of want to be a little chunky. You're kind of purposely taking damage. I'll explain that in a moment. But at level 12, we can actually get up to 111, a nice 111 HP, right? And if we look at our gear, obviously we're going to go Pact of the Blade. Pact of the Blade's awesome because now this is Charisma instead of Strength or Dex, and we're proficient with it if we weren't already, right? So you can always be proficient in the weapon we're using, thanks to the Pack of the Blade. And at level 5, we can attack twice with our main hand action, okay? In fact, in patch 8, apparently you can just keep swinging Booming Blade for every attack you have available. That's insanity, okay? Booming Blade, I've already covered it. Did a video literally called Booming Blade is insane. Okay, Skin Burster, we know what that does. When we attack, we get 2 Force Conduits. Rippling Mail, if we take damage with the weapon damage types, piercing, all that, right? We actually get more 2 stacks for every hit. And then there's Reverb Gear. Reverb Gear is extremely powerful. I won't go into it, but the reverb is hilarious thanks to the glove, the boots, and they synergize really well with the Holy Lance Helm. If somebody misses us, they actually take reverb and a little bit of radiant damage thanks to this combo. And the Thunder Skin, if they already had reverb, now if they hit us and do damage, they might potentially get dazed, making them way, like, really vulnerable to spells and whatnot. So this guy is just ready. I call him the Pain Conduit. It's hilarious. There's even more here, like our Eldritch Blast does reverb. If we use our cantrips like Booming Blade and Eldritch Blast, we will add even more damage to our weapon thanks to the charisma, and we can add more thunder damage when we're doing thunder damage from our spell or a Booming Blade, right? Okay, without further ado, let's just pull back the notes. I'm going to show you even crazier nonsense than the beginning, okay? So what I can do is actually just get everybody to attack me. And thanks to Warlock, you'll eventually unlock this cool spell shield. So anybody attacking me, doing damage, is now getting cold, thunder, force. It's crazy, all right? And our Eldritch Blast can push people. We can basically do reverb every time we hit somebody with this, send them flying. I mean, this character is honestly hilarious. Okay, and let the fun begin. I don't know how the robot's not attacking me, but okay. Put up some numbers. So as you can see, I take that, but the next damage, I actually have a little Force Conduit, reducing the damage, reducing it even further every time I take damage. Okay. Look at that. So we do want to get hit, and I'll tell you the little trick here. If you don't have the highest armor class, right, you have a decent armor class, right, half the time you'll get hit, half the time you won't, okay? So I know I'm the only target here right now, but on a team, if I control the way the AI targets me, I have 17 armor class. It's decent, but it's really not that good to survive unless Force Conduit stacks up to 7, right? So 6 or 7, now I'm taking a reduced 6 damage. As a Fiend Lock, I can choose Slashing Resistance, take even less damage. Thanks to this Ice Shield, I take reduce fire damage, and so on and so forth. So there really isn't tankiness in Baldur's Gate 3. You don't really build tanks, but if you wanted to be a tank, this is the way you do it. Force Conduit is super good, I was trying to say earlier. So I'm taking a lot of mitigated damage. I'm inviting people to hit me because I have a high hit pool and I don't have the best armor class, and the AI is going to target me if they think they can hit me, even though they don't realize by hitting me, they're going to do a lot of damage to themselves. And then your party, or you can use your bonus action, just heal up a little bit, and you just keep taking damage, but so do they, right? So, see what they keep doing. Okay, so I can Hellish Rebuke with my powerful spell slot. He just took 47 damage on retaliation. There we go. The Force Conduit is really keeping his arrows from doing anything to him, right? This guy hits me, he takes reverb damage and radiant damage. If you miss, you're taking... You see what I'm talking about? Yes, please keep hitting me. And what I like to do is when they surround me, I can use one of these powerful spell slots. We're almost running out, but I don't really care if I get hit by this, because I can just do a massive shatter level 5 and hit them. And then, like I said, I can just use a bonus action, or somebody else can heal me. So go ahead. Just keep hitting me. Just keep hitting me. Reverb, reverb, reverb. So if they can damage me, it's very little. And if they do, they start taking damage. If they miss me, they take radiant damage, get reverb stacks. It's hilarious. They'll daze themselves. They'll fall on their butts. Like, I can't. It's insane, right? And if it does fully trigger Force Conduit, right, they do take extra force damage. But I honestly would have never realized how tanky this is. Now, to make things worse, in patch 8, we can use Booming Blade and just really wallop people, which empowers our weapon. Since it's a cantrip, we now have the powerful Arcane Synergy effect, which is adding 4 more charisma damage to our weapon. But also it's a cantrip doing thunder damage, so it adds some thunder infusion. So this is like a deadly combo in and of itself, okay? And I can now hit you with the bonus action halberd attack, right? The polearm attack, right? So this does a little damage in of itself. Oh, I missed. It's okay. You missed 2 reverb. I've honestly, like, it's... You just don't build tanky characters in this game, but hey, it's working. Come on, hit me. Yeah, now you're dazed. Now you're taking radiant thunder damage. It's goofy. But even then, I am a warlock, so of course you can just send people flying with some Eldritch Blast and just keep on rolling. Is this a solo character? Can I just solo the game like this? Alright, and then Booming Blade as always, wha-bam! And then our bonus action, wha-bam! There you go, a little extra damage for you. Nope. Nope. Alright, let's just finish it. He's had enough. Ugh, so there it is. We barely took any damage. It's insane. It's insane. We have the temporary damage, the Force Conduit mitigation, we have the slashing mitigation. Honestly, this is really cool, and it's all thanks to you guys for giving me an awesome suggestion. Thank you, Cat's Tail. I hope this is what you were looking for. This is honestly really cool, but this is just level 12, so how do you usually play or level up these builds? That's what I want to know. Well, I'm not playing this currently, or what we're doing is I always take ideas like this into honor mode, and I live stream the run, because we want to see, in theory, that's cool, but what if you played at level 1, 2, 3, act 1, 2, and 3, right? So as we level up, we try to test these in real play on honor mode, where things are tougher, can't take it back. How does it really perform in the highest difficulty? But I don't do it for me. I want to see you play honor mode with any crazy idea like this, not just the typical strongest power, but the characters you like to create. So I try to play it and see if you can pick up ideas, or we'll test together if something like this is really viable and fun to play, all right? So I love, obviously, requests like this. If you want to drop one in the comments, I appreciate that. Or if you had a question of what's under the hood here with this build, don't hesitate to ask. I love answering the comments, all right? So hopefully I'll see you in the live chat, because you guys are my sponsor. I appreciate you for watching. Obviously, I hope you had fun, because this was fun for me. And if you want to support the channel, it's as low as it's going to be on YouTube, so I really appreciate that. But overall, the best support is just having fun with the videos. And if you beat honor mode, tell me in the comments. I want to know, because that's half the fun of making these videos and inspiring people. I really appreciate that. You guys have an awesome day. I'll have another fun one for you tomorrow, and I'll even see you in the live chat. Take it easy, guys.